You've probably heard of tres leches cake, right? You know that cake where 3 different types of milk is poured on top after it's baked? Well, today I'll be making 4 leches cake. Welcome to the Bear Pantry Show. If you're looking for authentic Belizean recipes, then you're in the right place. My name is Barbara and this is Cooking Made Simple. This cake doesn't use any butter, but it uses a whole bunch of eggs, half a dozen separated. So I'm using my egg separator right here, and I always go one at a time, and I transfer the egg whites into a separate bowl. That way if I crack one of the other eggs and I get some yolk in it, I won't mess up my whole bowl of whites, right? So this is another way to separate. Just go from shell to shell with the yolk. We're going to need all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, cinnamon. These are all the dry ingredients right here. Then over here I have some regular cow's milk, some granulated white sugar divided. So 1.5 cups divided, the 6 egg yolks, and some vanilla extract. Go ahead and screenshot this graphic right here, guys. Now let's get back to the rest of the ingredients. 6 egg whites and the remaining sugar. Did you guys see that in the title I named it Tres Leches ? Well, there's a reason for that. See, here are 3 milks right here, but I decided to add a 4th. So it's going to be 4 leches, all right? Now, by the way, the cake is already baking right now. We got 26 more minutes to go on it. But let me show you what I did to make the cake. I'm using 2 pieces of parchment paper to sift the flour. So it's 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm just going back and forth. And I do this several times, at least 3 times and maybe as much as 6 times, okay? It's just up to you. So let me go ahead and dump the dry ingredients in this bowl and then sift the rest of my dry ingredients in here. That was the salt and the cinnamon and now the baking powder. Just sift this. And the oven is coming up to temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and whisk our dry ingredients and then take care of some of the wet. So this is the 1 cup of sugar, the 6 egg yolks, the milk, and the extract. And I'm just using the cap to measure. Now I want to go ahead and beat this until it's pale yellow like this. So at least 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'm going to wash the feet of the mixer and then beat the egg whites first to soft peaks. And then I'm going to start adding the 1/2 cup of sugar. A little bit at a time. So you can also beat the egg whites first and then go deal with the egg yolks. That way you don't have to wash the feet of the mixer, okay? And after 5 minutes we have stiff peaks. Let me go ahead and get the beaters off. It's so stiff I can barely shake it off. Now I'm adding some of the dry ingredients and I'm just going to fold. No more mixing or blending, alright? Just folding. Let me get the rest of this dry right here and fold. And I have a folding spatula, but you can use any spatula. Just kind of turn it over and fold. Now I'm folding in the whites. This cake is going to be so spongy and light. So just let me go ahead and fold carefully. See the size of the pan, guys? 13 by 9 by 2. Let me go ahead and put my batter in. Take my time with it. And this is not the kind of cake that we're going to pat the pan down to make it level. So we're going to have to level off with the spatula. Clean it off. My oven is up to temperature. Let me go ahead and stick it in here and then set the timer for 30 minutes. This is all we're going to need is 30 minutes to bake the cake. So 30 minutes later, let's take a look. It's looking pretty good, right? Ooh, spongy. Let me stick my toothpick in. Yes, it's clean, so time to take it out. And I'm going to give it about 5 minutes. Give it time to separate from the sides like this. And then let me go ahead and grease my cooling rack so the cake won't stick to it. And dump it out. And just let this cool completely. Now let me put my feet of my mixer, my beaters, in the freezer. Not the fridge, the freezer, okay? Now let's take care of the 4 leches or the 4 milks. So this is 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 tin of media crema. Now, normally I don't use the heavy cream on this cake if it's tres leches, but because I'm doing 4 milks, that's why I've added the heavy cream, alright? 1 tin of sweetened condensed milk. And for the evaporated milk, I think I'm just going to use half the tin, because I feel like if I put more, it'll be too much liquid for the cake because I've added the fourth milk, which is the heavy cream. Let me grab my whisk, give this a mix, and then I've put the cake in this beautiful dish right here, and I'm stabbing it with a toothpick. Such fun. And then just pour the milk on a little bit at a time. You can also stab it with a fork, but I like the toothpick method better. And you just have to pour it slowly and let it just saturate. And this is why I got the bigger bowl. And yes, this is from the Temptation series. And a friend of mine, shout out to Sharon, Jada's godmother. Jada's running camera right now. She was the one that bought me this whole series. She even called and asked, well, the series, the whole set. She even called and asked me what color I liked. And I didn't know what she was buying. But I really do appreciate it, and I love my set. All right, guys? Maybe one day I'll show you the whole thing. But just let me go ahead and pour milk until it's all set. And we're going to pour this whole thing. Now let me grab my metal bowl and my beaters from the freezer because we're going to make the frosting. This is going to be very simple. Just 3 ingredients. The heavy cream, 16 ounces of the heavy cream, and some regular white sugar and some vanilla extract. And it's going to be 1 cup of regular white sugar. All right? See the sugar right here? 1 cup. Now we're going to start off first of all by beating. I've set the timer for 5 minutes. And I have the mixer on very high. And as soon as soft peaks start to appear, it's time for me to start adding my extract first before I forget this. I really need like 3 hands in here today. And just go ahead and pour some like a teaspoon. Now let me add the sugar a little bit at a time. If you like the frosting less sweet, then use less sugar. If you want it more sweet, add more sugar. But I like the 1 cup to the 2 cups of heavy cream. And as soon as it starts to look like this, it's done. Don't overbeat it because it's gonna like turn back into cottage cheese, you know? I always pour off the milk and put it back on the cake again, but this time I've decided I'm going to transfer the cake into a different pan. I should have really thought about this originally because I want the sides of the cake to also have frosting. Now because the cake is now upside down, I'm going to stab it again with the toothpick and pour the rest of the milk on. So now it's time for the frosting, and the frosting is so light and airy. If you don't want to do all this hard work to make the frosting, just go ahead and buy some whipped cream. Now I'm going to put some caramel on top, but I've invited Jada to come and pipe it for me because Jada used to work at a bakery, you know, for a whole year. She's doing a good job, right? Now, time to cut the cake. It is so spongy and light. Let me get out this first piece. Wow, this is so beautiful. It's not soggy at all, even with all the milk on top of it. But by tomorrow, this cake is going to be even more saturated with the milks. Let's take a second look before we dive in. I can't wait to taste this, guys. And that's all I can do is taste because I'm lactose intolerant. I really think it's 5 milks because this is another milk, right? Let's taste. I can't talk. There's nothing left to say. Try it for your Cinco de Mayo. Come back and tell me what all you did. And share the pictures of the page, all right? The Friends of the Bear Pantry, not the page, the group. The Friends of the Bear Pantry Show group, all right? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know when I upload another video. Also, check out my Belize in Cookbook at barepantryshow.com. Bye now.